from the ground up. I built it with the intent of bringing my town up.
Hi everyone and welcome to episode 14 of the Kevin Widop Show. This is a podcast which features interviews with influencers all around the world, from the realms of entertainment and finance to entrepreneurship and beyond, so as to unlock their best practice tools, habits and strategies, and quote unquote how they made it. Now let's chat with today's guest, Tim Coe. Tim is a sales and marketing expert who has been working for himself from the age of 19. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Hi, Kevin. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Really good to have you on the show. Now,
thanks very much for having me.
Excellent. Cheers, Tim. Now, I came across you recently when I heard you call into Grant Cardone TV. I believe that show was from a couple of years ago. We'll come on to Grant in a few minutes for anybody out there who doesn't know Grant, one of the leading sales experts in the world, of course. But for anyone that hasn't come across Tim Coe, can you give people a little bit of a lowdown on what you do and what you're about?
Okay, well, based on being in business for 31 years now, I like to help other business people with the marketing and getting them, but nobody really wants marketing, so I never really talk about marketing unless I can help it and use that word, even though I have twice already. But it's more about, people want new clients and they want to grow their businesses. So it's all about, getting yourself spoken about. One phrase I like to use is do-do, discussable, unforgettable, distinctive and unique. People are talking about you and your business for the right reasons. I think you've done the right job. That's one of my definitions of marketing is to get people to talk about you. But the result of those conversations, Kevin, is people saying, I want some of that, or I want to go there, or I want to eat there. It's all very well people talking about you, but if the result of those conversations is positive and it's drawing them to you, then great. That's your marketing's done its job. But it's easy to say that, but getting it done is something else. So I tend to underpin it with what I call your Utterly Seductive Proposal, which is a play on the old USP acronym.
Yeah.
But unique selling point. Nobody wants a selling point rammed down their throat. So an Utterly Seductive Proposal, I felt, was a much nicer way to buy. People prefer to buy; they don't like to be sold. So that's the title for my book, and it's all about standing out, being unique, having something nobody else has got, having something that people cannot get anywhere else, and basing all your marketing on that, rubber stamping a 15 or 20 word phrase that sums up why somebody should do business with you over anybody else, stamping that across every marketing tool that you've got. So that's what you then become known for. So that's where I am.
Excellent. And so what is your utterly seductive proposal? What's your 15 to 20 words phrase, Tim?
Yeah, I hate people asking me that because I'm always changing it.
Right. Okay.
And it's. I mean, I changed it. I did it about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I haven't looked at it since. So you've caught me out there. I will. But my utterly seductive proposal is the fact that I have got the utterly seductive proposal as a product, as a theme, as a what would you call it? A
proposition, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, proposition isn't the word I like to use because there's unique selling proposition. So
okay.
They steer away from it.
Yeah.
But it's the angle I have. To come at marketing with. Most people talk about, let's do some marketing. Do you want some marketing? So, no, I don't want any marketing. I just want a bit of, I want to be able to grow my business and get some new clients. People seem to get turned on by having new clients.
Yeah.
I did a little survey a couple of years back, and it was about, do you want to be too busy? Do you want to be? Do you want to have more clients than you can deal with? Do you want to be so busy you rushed off your feet? Do you want more income? Do you want more clients? And there was something else. And most people said, I want more clients. So having, new clients was the phrase. So having new clients seemed to be a phrase that turned people on more than any other type of business growth term. So I talk about new clients because people seem to like the idea of that. And sure, you do need new clients because you're going to lose clients at the same time. So you've got to keep them coming in. But it's having having a predictable system where you can turn it on or turn it off. I mean, preferably leave it switched on the whole time and pick up new clients. But that's a subject in it. Well, I mean, marketing is such a big subject. There's so many different areas. Getting attention, keeping clients, risk reversal, having a unique product, follow up, staying in touch. That's subjects I love. Having a sales process with marketing tools,
sure,
so that you can touch people in the right places, in the right way, at the right time, saying the right things without so many times until they're comfortable enough to buy from you, and not be an annoying sales pest that just, are you going to buy? I'm just calling to touch base.
Yeah.
Shut up, just ring up and give me something helpful. Sales, to me, sales is all about helping.
Yeah.
Forget the word selling, talk about helping. And then it makes it easier to contact somebody with something of value.
Interesting. And how would you describe your sales approach? Is it a consultative sales approach? Because I've been speaking to sales leaders recently, one of whom was on a recent episode, who talked about how a good salesperson these days is adopts more of a doctor's approach. Have you tried X, Y, Z? Find out everything else that they've tried before you actually say, well, this is my product. It sounds like you have a business need. Here's the solution to your needs. So I'm keen to sort of understand, do you have a specific type of approach, or would you say just generally it's to advise, it's to help?
It's definitely to help, Kevin. Yes. The first place I normally start is with the person. Most people, and I mean, it's the same. It's the same with marketing. You can't create marketing unless you know exactly who it's got to appeal to.
Yeah.
Because you can't please everybody. It's got to, as soon as you have some idea of the person that's got to respond to your email or to your flyer or to your video, as soon as then it's easier to wrap that message around the person so that they feel it's made for them and you're talking to them. But that's where I start, is with the person. I don't look for companies based in Bournemouth or Southampton or London, with 12 people turning over XYZ in this type of industry. I look for the person.
Yeah.
So I look for people that are proud of their business, don't care what other people think. Always have their phones plugged in on their desk because they're using it so much.
Yeah.
They don't watch the news. They're happy to work weekends.
Yeah.
They might have a graphic designer, a web designer. They're at a certain place with their business.
Yeah.
And they, because you deal with, people deal with people. Obviously, we've heard that said a million times.
Yeah.
So I don't know why most ideal target client profiles are about businesses. With me, they're about people.
Yeah.
So I look at the person, because it's no good getting into bed with somebody to do business with them and then find out that their idea of brave isn't what yours is. So I always use the example of giving out leaflets. You could go out in the street and give out some flyers, but if you dressed up as a panda and had a ghetto blaster, what are they called? Megaphone.
Yeah.
Or a gorilla in a big pink outfit on a loud motorbike, and then you're dressed up as a zookeeper. That's another one, trying to catch the gorilla in a high street.
Right.
It sounds crazy, but you're creating a bit of a stir.
Sure.
And the zookeeper's the one giving out the flyers. But whatever. But most people wouldn't be prepared to do that, because it would be, they would feel embarrassed. But you'd give out a lot more flyers and get everyone talking about you. And that's the point, is to do something that people will naturally talk about. Another example I use is, I've got a picture of a spaceman walking across Fifth Avenue on fire.
Right.
So I use that in workshops, and I say that I found it in a card shop in Woking.
Right.
But it's to me, it sums up the ultimate product, because if you saw a spaceman walking across Fifth Avenue in the middle of the day, but he's on fire, the next person you saw, you'd be going, oh my God, you don't know, you'll never guess what I've just seen. So if you can create that type of response with your products, great. So, but again, it's how far are people prepared to go. So in terms of getting back to your question,
sure.
I always look at the person to begin with and see if we've got the same approach to business, see if we've got. I mean, another example of that is I had a new client come to me recently, and on the second phone call, he said, "I feel really comfortable. You know, what do we need to do to start doing business?" And I put it largely down to the fact that I've got so much content out there, and I'm quite transparent. I feel it's not just business. You know, it's about, this is me, this is what I'm about. You know, if you don't like that, well, fine, because hopefully there's some other people that will be more drawn to me from having that content than if I just say, yeah, my name's Tim, I'm in marketing and I've been in business a few years and let's talk. You know, so it doesn't tell anyone anything.
Yeah.
So I tend to, you know, not tell everything, but put quite a bit out there because, you know, so what? I'm not scared of, I've got nothing to hide. So you know, finding the right person, finding the right people to work with is part of it. And you know, this chap actually, on the first phone call, he said, "Oh, I like to 10x things." So I said, must be into Grant Cardone.
Right.
I am. So straight away, I thought we're on the same wavelength.
Right.
Which is a nice link, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So just, you know, that's a nice little segue into Grant Cardone, who, you know, I've been doing a lot of reading around sales and biz dev and personal development, and came across his work a couple of months ago. How your kind of interest in Grant's work, when does that date back to, and why does Grant Cardone and his approach and philosophy appeal to you so much?
I think it's his honesty. I think the first personal development guy I first came across was Brian Tracy.
The
Psychology of Achievement, back in, you know, early 90s. But I found Grant probably in 2013 through a YouTube video. He said there was a pile of books. I think it was the Sell to Survive, with the life ring on the cover.
Right.
I think they're the one. I think it's called Sell to Survive, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got Sell or Be Sold.
Yeah, I've got that as well. The red one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that. In fact, on that video that you saw, I sent him my book, and there was a big print. It was I could see it sticking out of the book. I sent him an A4 print of a photo of me, reading Sell or Be Sold on the beach in Spain.
Oh wow!
Which I think it's quite funny seeing your book in different places around the world. I saw a picture of mine in Lisbon, in Portugal, yesterday.
Fantastic.
Quite funny. But yeah, I just liked his approach. I found a video. He said, "Oh, come with me. I'm going to go into my sales room."
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, and he jumped on some sales calls.
Yeah.
And I just found it fascinating hearing him do these live sales calls.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen anyone else do. I don't think online. He's done quite a few of them since. I just quite liked his approach. He wasn't bullying people, but he was very clear about progressing and moving forward. And I think this whole thing of helping people, you know, he was helping people to help themselves. People find it hard to make a decision, and I think what he's brilliant at is making people see that they need to help themselves. You know, the fact they can't afford his products is their fault. The fact they can't afford $1,800 a month to go on his program or to get on Cardone University, you know, it's their fault. You know, at their stage in life, they should be ashamed that they can't afford it. So I like his honesty. I love his approach to things and his angles and his perspectives. You know, he's very, very clear about what he's doing, because and he's a great speaker. He can you know, audiences seem to love what he does. And I don't get bored with his stuff. That's the other thing. Most people I get bored with. I've been on Unleash the Power Within with Anthony Robbins, but I never look at any of this stuff online. You know, I just haven't engaged with Robbins in the same way as I have Cardone. He's the only guy really that I watch. I mean, less so these days. I don't really like to watch anybody. I don't like to get influenced too much because I prefer to have my own ideas.
Great.
But yeah, he's the guy for me. I really, really like him.
Fantastic. Well, and the book, Utterly Seductive Proposal, what was the rationale behind that? Was that, you know, as a kind of marketing tool, as a branding tool? Because I think, as Cardone says, you know, a £15, £20 book, whatever it is, doesn't add significant financial oomph to your top line growth. What was the rationale behind writing the book?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, friends always say to me, how many books you sold, how much money you made. It says nothing about books, nothing about making money.
Yeah.
It was all about making a statement, really.
Yeah.
A friend of mine, Adam Hempenstall from Better Proposals, he wrote a book called Automate Your Business.
Right.
And I saw what it did for him.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, 20,000 words, I could do that.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing 65,000 words, edited it down to 50.
Yeah.
And it's been one of the best things I've done. I mean, I've made records. I've got vinyl with my name on, and I've got a book with my name on, which is two quite nice things. And it's a business tool, mainly as part of a sale. Well, two reasons. You get invited to do things like this.
Yeah.
And also, when I walk into a meeting, I can put down a business card, or I could put down a book. So it's obvious. Business cards.
Yeah.
Business cards, I think, are largely a waste of time. Contact details, great.
Sure.
No one needs to contact you unless they want you. So put the contact details on a marketing tool.
Yeah.
At least a 4-page business card if you have to have a business card. But yeah, I mean, my contact details are in my book. So that's the point. It opens doors, but also, Kevin, it does, which is the same. Another angle I always use with social media or writing articles is it forces when you're writing a book, you're creating content.
Sure.
So when you're forced to create content, it is amazing actually what you do know and what does come out. And I couldn't believe how much I was actually coming out with in writing. So quite often I just stop and open the book and start reading it, and it's like, Christ, I wrote this.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's a great process, and it's a great thing to have done. I'll probably do another one. I'm just editing a client of mine's at the moment. Antonio Falco has done a book called Stop Pitching, Start Selling, which is coming out soon. And he's a traditional sales consultant, and I'm helping him get his book, self-published. So the formatting, doing the cover, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Helping him with the with the whole thing there. I mean, I do a lot of marketing for him. But the book is one of his things. He's been carrying it around in his head for years. He's finally written it.
Yeah.
Same thing. I know it was a great process for him just to be able to write this thing. So, and he will get more speaking engagements from it.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly. So it's easier for people to suggest to somebody else, oh look, let's get this guy speaking. It's much easier to say, I know the author of so and so, or the author of so and so is coming in.
Yeah.
It's just whether people read the book or not, the fact that you've got one.
It's neither here nor there, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they might read it, so you need to write it.
Yeah.
But I recommend anyone in business to consider writing a book. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be a consultant or in a professional field.
Yeah.
If you cut lawns, there's loads of things you could write about.
Yeah.
Confessions of a lawnmower. Not confessions of a lawn. Confessions of a gardener. You know what I mean? There's all sorts of interesting titles you could come up with.
Yeah.
That would spin an angle on your business and make it easy for people to refer you. It just makes it easier to do business. That's the word I use all over the place. Making it easy for people to buy, easy for people to talk about you, make it easy for them to refer you, make it easy for them to find you. But if you've got a book, it makes everything easier for you, easier for them. And I think it's the most powerful marketing tool that you can have. I mean, TV adverts aside,
sure,
being ridiculous. But where do you sit with the book?
I mean, you definitely sold me on it. I haven't written a book. I'm a former journalist, so started out working for national newspapers in my early 20s.
Yeah.
And I guess in my head I was thinking, so I'm 32 now. I've worked all over the world in Africa, for example. I've sold in Africa. I co-founded a small business in Africa. Just kind of thinking around that, like maybe there's a proposition there that I could turn into a book. I guess there's a lot of people out there, like you just said, what is their book? You know, what does that process look like? So if you cut lawns, for example, if you're a window cleaner, or if you're a tradesman, I guess what does the process look like for people, like from conceptualization? Can you talk me through that?
Okay. Yeah, I would recommend somebody writes the back cover of the book first, because that sums it up.
Yeah.
It might change. It's a bit like the copywriting process, I suppose. You might write a sales letter, and have to spend ages polishing it, and changing the headline and changing it and changing it and changing it until it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It might be rubbish to begin with, but if you write the back cover to begin with, then that sums up what you're going to write about, because you can't start writing. Well, you could, but it would help if when you started writing, you know where you're going. Excuse me. So I think if I started trying to write the chapter titles,
right,
which forced me to think about where I was going with this book. Because generally when you pick a book up, you turn it over and read the back, and then you might start reading the chapter titles to see where you're going. Some people read the conclusion first. So my conclusion actually says, it actually talks about, I thought it got straight. Pareto's 80-20 principle states that to save time or read a book in 20% of the usual time, one should read the conclusion first and then go to the introduction and then go to the conclusion again, followed by dipping into the book where absolutely necessary. So in case anyone subscribes to that theory, I feel obliged to give you what you came here for. So my conclusion sums the book up in a way. But it's just, you need to lock yourself away and dedicate some time to it. Obviously, I took about 7 or 8 weekends. Luckily, my girlfriend at the time was studying law, so we could use Kingston Hill campus every weekend, and have a nice environment for me to write in. If I was left to my own devices at home, it would have been a different ball game. But I used to go to hers at the weekends, and then we'd get up early on both days, because she was very dedicated to her studying, which helped. So we'd get up early both days, go to this really smart building, this library, and I'd bang away at it and get it done.
Fantastic.
But it's a nice process. I tell you, it does. I think it does make you feel like you're achieving something and doing something when you're writing it. Yeah. So I'd recommend it, definitely. And even if a book seems a tall order, maybe a tips booklet. So going back to the lawnmower thing, you can easily do 47 reasons to use a professional lawn carer, and come up with all sorts of things, because it forces you to think in a certain way. And then if you've got like an A6 booklet printed, and you gave 3 of those to all your clients and asked them to give them to people that have got lawns that they want their lawns to look great, that would be easy for people to refer you. It's something valuable to give away. It's something nice to receive. The information's relevant, and that's a short book. That's a small book. That's a small way to do it, I think. So tips booklets, again, I mean, I'm big into printed marketing tools, tangible things. There's so much online that's digital, and everyone's got a folder full of PDFs that they're never going to read. But a tangible item, that you can, as I said, walking into a meeting, putting down something on the desk that's designed nicely, that feels nice. Colour printing is so cheap these days. So there's no excuse. Get some stuff written, designed, and printed, and you'll stand out just that way. Because most people don't bother. They take the easy, cheap option. And I'll send it to you. I'll email it to you. Or I'll print it off for you. Or I'll email it to you and you can print it off. Like, no, I'll give you the proper printed version as I intended it to be.
Take some pride over it.
Sorry?
Take some pride over it.
Exactly, which is what I said earlier about one of the things I look for in potential clients is someone that's proud of their products. So that they then will spend money on marketing them, because if they're not proud about them, they don't really care how they come across. And the fact that they are proud says a lot. They care. The book is a fantastic marketing and business tool, and it opens doors, adds weight to you, gives you credibility, and it gives you a lot of confidence as well, which I think is vital in business. If you haven't got confidence, you'll hesitate. So the book clarifies what you're about, what you stand for. which I think is very important. You know, if you don't stand for anything, if you don't have an opinion or a perspective on your subject, then, you know, you're invisible.
Yeah.
It's one of the things it says on the back of the book, actually. Go from invisible to invaluable.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And just finally, in terms of the self-publishing process, did you self-publish?
I did.
Yeah.
It's fast, yeah. Use a company called Lulu to get them printed.
Right.
Basically upload a Word doc, well, not a Word document, you have to convert it to a PDF, so the fonts are embedded, but you upload a Word document, you upload your cover, which would be a back, a front and a spine as one PDF, and then just say, do I want one copy or do I want 50,000 copies? And the more you order, the cheaper they are. So generally a book costs you between £2.50 and £4.50. My book's 200 pages.
Yeah.
So it cost me about £4.50. That's the sort of unit cost you're looking at.
Yeah.
You know, £12.97 on a cover.
Sure.
For a tenner when you go and do an event. But it's, as I say, as you correctly alluded to, it's not about making money from them. It's about me getting that into somebody's hands.
Sure.
Whether they read it or not doesn't really matter, but, you know, it gets you remembered, gets you talked about, and, you know, and when people say they're reading it, you know, it's flattering. You know, the fact that they bothered to spend time reading it. So if you and one thing they always do say, just something else to mention here, is because I put not quite a lot, I put a bit of personal stuff in there, so it's a bit more, you know, again, a bit more interesting than just being business. So it's not a story as such, but it's and the comment people always say is, I like the stuff about your dad in there.
Right.
Or, you know, or I like this, or they mention something that I did. And it's always the personal things. So it's good to get that in there, I think, because it gives people more of an understanding about who you are. It's transparent, it's honest, which we're going to talking about Grant. You know, he's always having cameras in his home, talking about his wife, his kids. His wife.
It's very personal, isn't it?
You know?
People by people, right?
Pardon?
People by people.
They do, and if you're this perfect, polished example of a human being, it's a bit hard to believe.
It's so true, isn't it?
Yeah, Grant always talks about having a drug problem, and, you know, between the ages of 18 and 25, doing drugs every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, people can relate to that. Nothing to hide.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't hide it.
Exactly, yeah. I think there's this trope of authenticity that is starting to penetrate the world of business. Not every nook and cranny by any stretch, but certainly for SMEs and entrepreneurs, and, you know, the rise of the startup at the moment, that I think is really sort of nodding to that trope, which is incredibly powerful. But
Yes.
just to. Yeah, so have you got any final thoughts on that kind of authenticity piece? I think you've said it. Is that, you know, we live our lives inside out these days.
Yeah, I would. You know, if I'm talking to somebody about social media, which is one good place to start, or the about page, which is another thing I'm always talking about to people on their websites, or you know, looking at what they've got and making suggestions, because it's one of the first places I go.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Kevin, but I cannot stand an about page
that
doesn't have anyone's name on it, that doesn't have any photos. I don't care about the company on the about page. All I want to know about is the people. What do they like? What are they about? So, and the same with social media. The point here is that a certain amount of your posts should be about you, I think. You know, it's interesting to see you water skiing at the weekend, or, you know, standing on the terraces at the Emirates, or you know, whatever it may be, or standing at Silverstone, with Hamilton flying past behind, you know, with a video. Whoa, look at this! And you know, at the start of a Formula One race behind you, you've sort of selfied that. I mean, most people in the crowd would probably go, look at that idiot. He's got his back to the start of the race, but, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And then people go, oh, I love Formula One, and, you know, so you like that guy a bit more because you like the same thing. And if you don't put that stuff out there, it doesn't allow people to buy into you as a person.
Yeah.
So, you know, I on my about page, I've got pictures because I love cars, I love music, I love boats, I love food. So, I've got pictures of me engaging in these activities, and, if someone doesn't like it, well, fine, but, what's the worst that can happen? But the chances are, more good's going to come of it than bad. Someone's going to say, I know more about you, I feel more comfortable about you, I feel it's easier for me to decide to do business with you.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to buy from you because I know more about you. The fact that you put that stuff out there says you're honest and you're an open guy.
Sure.
It's like, well, yeah, I am. So the same pictures that I've used on my back page, I've probably used in social media posts at the same time.
Sure.
There's certain social media posts that are selling, as in promoting my own stuff, but most of it is advice, perspectives, opinions, and then occasionally some stuff about me, just some personal things. Here's me walking along in front of Big Ben, for example. There isn't a picture of that, but just I mean, I'm not saying live your life online. Here's what I had for breakfast. Isn't that interesting? No, it's not. That is ridiculous. But
social selling to some extent, is it?
Sorry?
Is it? Would you say that's there's all these different methods of selling these days, but social selling has become increasingly a part of the marketing mix. Not everybody understands how to do it, but I think social selling is interacting with prospects across social media platforms, and part of that dynamic is posting quote unquote personal stuff about our lives, or about the culture of the business, or about the ethos, or about on Fridays we have burgers in the office, whatever it may be. Would you so is social sales something that you advocate? Is that something that you advise on?
I've never used that expression, but the way you've described it just then, Kevin, definitely. It's we've got so much freedom now to express ourselves. We carry around these amazing smartphones, so we can just do a Facebook Live video from anywhere, anytime. And as soon as we've stopped broadcasting live, we can still then upload it. And it's available for people to watch. We haven't got to go away and edit the video and then upload the thing to YouTube and then share the link and then make a thumbnail and then do an intro and an outro. It's that's one way of doing a video. But this whole instant access to the world, you can be sat in your in your office and on this have Facebook open, and then notification will come up, so and so's broadcasting live, and you can jump onto his show, and then he can switch you on, and you can be in the hot seat on his show on camera, broadcasting to a load of people that have never heard from you before. And then you can stick your link in the chat box. I did that the other day. It's just incredible. When I think back to doing business in the 90s, I started in 88. But I think back to sat in my office in the 90s, which was a shed in the garden, which I probably used for about 10 years. Electronic typewriter, phone, yellow pages. Used to advertise in yellow pages. We were on the border, Bournemouth and Southampton, so quarter column in the Bournemouth and the Southampton directories, mobile car balloting, £500 a year to go in either. So £1,000 a year, 20 quid a week, and I'd get 5-7 phone calls a day from that.
Wow,
it was incredible. So it was all about, back then, it was all about selling on the phone, and people would ring up, how much to have your car balloted? Well, it's not how much, it's how good you want it, really. It's so it was most people would, if they hung up, they'd ring back. You were more expensive, but I liked what you said more.
Sure.
Explain it in more detail. So business back then was very simple. In that respect. So the internet has exploded the opportunities we've got, but it's also fragmented down where people are going to be, hasn't it? So it's really difficult to know where to put your message now. Before, it was pretty obvious. Yellow pages was the place. But when was the last time you used yellow pages? It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's just so insignificant now. Google's replaced yellow pages. So the whole social selling. I think it's vital to be online, obviously, and to get that side of it right. Which can take a while. Sort of curating how you look, how you come across. It's always evolving. But if you don't do it, you're not going to get found. And I've been banging away on Twitter for years, but only now are people starting to come to me.
That inbound process. Like first, you need to get into the mix and interact and create value. That's increasingly what I'm hearing is that once you start to create value, then they will come.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people only buy what they want, not what they need.
Yeah.
So it's no good saying, you need this, you need this. For one, people don't like to be told what they need. If someone says to me, your business needs this, I need this. It's like, I think I know my business better than you. Don't tell me what I need.
Yeah.
If I want it, fine. So whether it's right or wrong for the person, for example, a McDonald's.
Sure.
It's not really the right thing to eat. We know that nutritiously, but it tastes good to me. So, I don't care what people think. I like McDonald's, right? So, once or twice a month, you can't beat a Big Mac. I do like it. I do love fine dining, but I do love McDonald's as well. So, it's I don't need it, but I want it. So, I don't need an Aston Martin. I can drive A to B in a Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
But I want an Aston Martin.
Absolutely.
I don't need a bloody fast boat.
Yeah.
But I want one. So it's all about creating stuff that people want.
Yeah.
As well. This whole want versus need. We don't want car insurance, but we need it legally, so we have to have it.
It's not a glamorous purchase.
I'm sorry?
The car insurance. It's not one of the more glamorous purchases, but sometimes there are necessary evils.
They are. I think those need purchases do come down to price. People don't really go through the finer details of their insurance policy.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as I get a courtesy car, and the excess is this, if you can beat the quote, then I'll go with you guys. There's no loyalty there, is there? But no one really wants car insurance, but they. Obviously, it's nice to have it from the peace of mind point of view.
Yeah.
If something does go wrong, car stolen, it's covered.
Sure.
But I'm sure if they made car insurance an option.
Yeah.
How many people would actually have it? How many people would say, I'm not going to spend £500 on it this year. I'm going to take my chances. No one wants it, but they need it. They've got to have it. So, but most of the things we buy, you look at shoes. Another example I always use is the average female has, I don't know, 20, 30, 40. Some people talk about over 100 pairs of shoes.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, they don't need them. A guy probably has a black pair of shoes, a brown pair of shoes, a few pairs of trainers, but you could get away with 3 pairs of shoes. Black, brown, trainers, maybe flip-flops, So, but we want more, so we buy more. It's this whole need thing, isn't it? We don't need that many clothes, but we buy more of them. It's, anyway, it's a fascinating subject. This whole thing of marketing, I just think it's a feeling.
Sure.
It's happiness. If you can get people to feel happy, if they feel happy buying the product, if they feel it's okay owning your product, I'm okay, I'm doing okay. This is the right thing to do. If you can create that feeling, then great. And I find watching a lot of the TV adverts fascinating. Always have done, right from a kid. TV advertising. Some of it I find absolutely appalling. What were they thinking? That turns me off the product. Yeah. Whereas the Samsung video with the ostrich and the virtual reality and the Elton John, Rocket Man. What a TV advert. That is incredible. It doesn't say our product is so good, it's technically amazing because of this. Yeah. It just creates a feeling when you watch it. You just say, oh yeah, I feel great watching that. It's the ostrich taking off, and he has the virtual reality because he
storytelling, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a great music track. I love that song anyway.
Yeah.
But it's that's great advertising. There's another one they've done as well. So I'm thinking, whoever Samsung have got doing their marketing. Yeah. I like them. I like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of a quote that Seth Godin, who's a little bit like Cardone in that space, kind of an all.
I know who he is, the bald guy.
Yeah, exactly. He wrote a book that said all marketers tell lies, and then scribbled out the tell lies bit to put tell stories. All marketers tell stories. So I think, yeah. On that note, Tim, I think, look, we've talked about your utterly seductive proposal amongst many other things and your sales and marketing strategy. Just finally, how can people or prospective clients get in touch with you?
Timcoe.com. TIMCOE.com. It's all there.
Excellent. And on that, we'll end the show. Thank you very much for being the 14th interviewee on the Kevin.
My favourite number. 14 is my favourite number. What are the chances?
There we go. Excellent. Well, look, I'll put it up on the website, kevinwidop.com, and on SoundCloud. So Thank you very much indeed for speaking with me, Tim.
Thank you, Kevin.
From the ground up, I built it with the